Hey everybody, it's Josh Connor in the Songwriters Circle here at the Opry Backstage Grill tonight. Hit songwriter Jim Femino's in the Songwriters Circle. How are you?
Short and fat, but I'm consistent.
I understand you enjoyed some delicious food inside.
Oh, I tell you what, I came down here early for this because I heard the food here was phenomenal, and I'll tell you what, I had a ribeye.
They're not kidding.
No, not at all. It was absolutely phenomenal.
Well, what you up to these days, Jim?
More of the same. Writing songs, getting cuts, waiting. Writing with a lot of my famous buddies and stuff, and just pretty much waiting for the next hit. You know, you never know which one's going to be the one that does it next. You just kind of write them, throw them out there, and plug along, waiting for the next one. So that's pretty much what I'm doing. I'm just writing with a bunch of my famous friends, rather than name dropping. You know what I mean? But hey,
Well, feel free to name drop, but
let's see. We got Montgomery Gentry, Tyler Farr, John Michael Montgomery.
Yeah. What about James Otto? Tell us about the big hit you wrote for James.
That dude, I love him to death. Josh, guess where he is? Right now as we speak, he's in Hawaii surfing.
That must be rough.
Leaves me here. Where's the love? No, James and I have been fast friends for 13 years now. I mean, we worked together for 10 years before we got to the top of the charts, with Just Got Started Lovin You.
It looks like overnight success, but really.
I was 6'3", 180, and had hair when we started. I mean, I was almost as tall as he was. And it beat me into this, the music industry. But, 13 years it's been, like I say, since we've been working together. And love him to death. What can I say?
Tell us about that song. What was the vibe? How'd that all come together?
Just Got Started Lovin You. That was an interesting thing. Here's a little lesson about Nashville songwriting if you're new or coming this way. If anybody ever asks you to have a beer, say yes. Because it's amazing the things that get done over a beer. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. I was at a card game at a buddy of mine, D. Vincent Williams' house, who's a big writer also. And I'm not a beer drinker. I'm more of a Jack and Coke guy. But they ran out of beer, and he said, "Well, let's go get some beer." And I'm like, "All right." So off we go, get some more beer down at Kroger. And while we're there, he says to me, Jim, how come you never asked me to write with any of your famous friends? And I said, "Well, you never asked me, Dave." And he said, "Well, I'm asking." And I said, "Well, I'm writing with my buddy James Otto tomorrow. If you want to come join us." And he's like, "Yeah." And he said, "Well, what's he like?" And I said, "Well, he's this big biker-looking kind of dude, but he's a teddy bear, sweetheart." And he's like, No. What's he sing like? And I said, "Well, he's got this crazy big range. He can sing down here, and if you need him to, he can even go way up there." and he looked at me. "Don't say a word." Don't say a word, because we didn't have our phones with us or recorders. And I said, "What's the matter?" He's like, "Don't say a word." And the whole time back to where we were playing cards, he's going la da 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 da. And then the next day we got together with James, played him the melody, and he had that title. He said, "Well, I've got this title, Just Got Started Lovin You. But I don't know what it means." And David and I looked at each other and was like, "We do." And a couple, 3 hours later, it was written.
Yeah, inspiration can strike at any moment.
Yeah, and the rest, as they say, is history. We got blessed with it was the 2008 Billboard Most Played Country Song of the Year, Billboard Song of the Year, Country Song of the Year, and it was a wonderful thing. It was quite a blessing.
Well, tell us your words of song wisdom for up-and-coming songwriters. You mentioned the go have the drink. You get the invite, but what else?
Somebody asks you to have a beer, drink it. Words of advice to upcoming songwriters. I would say write what's in your heart and write what you know. And everybody always says that, and they don't quite expound on it. If you're a songwriter or a musician, chances are you've been listening to the radio your whole life. You already know how to write a song, and everybody comes into town thinking that they have to kind of morph into what everybody's doing here, and you learn the craft doing that, going down to the Bluebird and stuff like that. But bottom line, no one in this world has lived your life. Nobody has felt the things you've felt quite the way you felt them. Nobody can describe what your experience is better than you. So I mean, if you just this girl one time said to me, well, what do you mean by that? And I was like, well, just write the truth. And she said, well, what's the truth? I said, I don't know. I woke up this morning. I mean, it's true for everybody who's still here, you know. And she was like, oh. And sure enough, we sat down and wrote a song called I Woke Up Today. But the funny thing about that is when you write the truth, more than likely it's going to be true for somebody else. And especially with one as true as I woke up today, because like I said, if you're still here, that holds true for you, you know what I mean?
That happened.
Yeah, it did. It happened. Yay, life.
Well, Jim Femino, thanks for spending a minute in the Songwriter Circle.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.
And remember, friends, you can always find out more about songwriting. You can see interviews from other Nashville hit songwriters and join the conversation too. It's online, Josh Connor and the songwritercircle.com. We will see you there.
Adios. God bless.